Hi, my name is Jess Silva, and I'm going to share a little bit about my STEM story. So from a young age, I've always had an absolute fascination with the world around me. I was that kid that would always be out gathering insects, studying them, playing out in the bush. And I was really interested in how the world worked, the universe around me, just asking countless questions all the time. So apart from my love of the world around me and my interest in that, it wasn't something that I saw myself studying when I finished school. I was so sure I was going to be a dancer. I love to move, I love to do any form of dancing, and my idea was to go to WAPA and study dance. It was my father that convinced me otherwise. So he's the one who taught me to dance in the first place. And he knew how passionate I was about dancing. He also knew how much I loved science and enjoyed science. So it was his suggestion to actually keep dance as my passion and use science as a career for the rest of my life. So I decided to study marine science at Murdoch University. I chose marine science in particular because it was an environmental science and it meant that I would be out in the field. But also I knew that we had little understanding about our oceans, and I have a real love of learning, and I knew I would always be learning well after university. And I did a double major with sustainable tourism. I think at the time I realized that I really wanted to share my passion with the world around me, that being science. And so at the time, sustainable tourism seemed like the way to go. I would be able to go out and work on beaches and talk to tourists and help protect this wonderful wildlife and environment that we have here in Australia. I got to actually do my scuba diving license, my ticket, as part of my degree. What degree can say that? I also made some lifelong friends, those who shared similar passions with me, who had a real interest in helping to make a more sustainable future for our children. So towards the end of my degree, I was given this awesome opportunity to go up to Exmouth and study the turtles on Ningaloo Reef. It was an opportunity afforded to me through the university with some government agencies and a local sustainability group up in Exmouth. The role entailed going out onto the beaches and looking for nesting turtles and tagging them, but also training volunteers on how to track the turtles and how to tag the nests, locate them. And also one of the unique opportunities I had was at the Jarabi Turtle Centre. So it was in this role that I developed a love for communicating science. It was here that I learned, with just a little miner's torch on my head, that I could talk about something that I was so interested in and I was so passionate about, and that was so important to share with people, and I was making a real difference. So after my opportunity in Exmouth ended, I was quite saddened and I didn't know really where I wanted to go. I knew I didn't want to work in an office and I didn't want to just do research. I really wanted to go out and talk to people more. This led me to apply for a role as an outreach officer with SciTech Discovery Centre. It was here that I was able to travel all over the state. I can literally say I've been everywhere in WA. I've even been able to go to Beijing with the Beijing Bound program. I've worked with students from the most remote communities in Western Australia to metro schools, everywhere in WA. So I was delivering lots of different types of workshops to lots of different audiences. I was doing shows to audiences of up to 1,000 people, to small little workshops with after school with kids that were super keen on science. I absolutely loved it. But I was also noticing that there was a real disparity between the sexes. There were a lot of robotics clubs that I was running after school with the STEM club, but they were always filled with boys and hardly any girls in the classes. It got me thinking. So I wanted to be a teacher in a school where I could make the biggest impact possible. I wanted to go to a school where it was maybe considered a little bit rough, where it was hard to staff, where the students really needed the help. It was actually a good friend of mine who suggested the Teach for Australia program. I hadn't actually heard of it myself, and once I started to research more about it, I realised that this is exactly what I was looking for. Here was an opportunity to study being a teacher while actually working as a teacher and making a difference immediately. Right now I am teaching science, general science, 2 Year 7 classes, a Year 10 English as a second language class, and a Year 11 ATAR biology class. So I get to use some of those biology skills that I learnt at university and share again my passion for science and for STEM. STEM skills are so important in my industry, particularly working with young people. It is vital that I teach them the skills that they need for the future, those being 21st century skills. It's really important to me in particular that all students get given the same opportunities to access an equal education. My parents actually came here from Chile during a dictatorship, and it was an awful time for them. They left absolutely everything they knew just so that they could give me the opportunities to have an education, to pick any job I wanted, whether that be dancing or STEM. And it was because of this that the job I have now is so meaningful to me. My advice to young people today is to find your passion. Find out what drives you and follow it. I did, and it led me into education and science, being able to combine my two passions together. Be open to changing your mind as well and taking risks. I never thought I'd be where I am now, but if I hadn't been open to new opportunities, I would have missed out on them. So give it a go, and good luck.